Everyone. Um, since the Second World was supposed to happen after the Second World War, was that the world was supposed to start forming a global governance, and most of our politics since then has dwindled. If you're talking about true politics or and true culture as well, has dwindled since that period. What you notice in European culture is a decline. What you see in Western culture, its dominance in the economy, its political power, and movements of its ruling classes, ultimately is a decline in and a stagnation, in a sense. Whereas before the 50s, many of the art movements were very experimental, coming up with new ways of painting, for example, since we are roughly speaking about painting on this particular blog. So I think that the lack of, say, economy, the lack of culture outside of the West is a reflection of the unit, what what is going on as a whole. So I think it's essential that we understand that culture needs to modernize, but we can't do that if we're still stuck within the nation state, within our own particular class structures within those nation states, and within the monocultures that come out of that. Duchamp is an interesting person because he introduced theory into art, but he also, I feel like this was a way of keeping an old culture alive, and there is a kind of deadness in his work, a lack of vitality, a mechanistic kind of moving forward without really going anywhere, without the innovation. I think he was more of a reflection of that than a kind of a subverter of dominant culture. I think he allowed dominant culture to go through because he allowed for theory to be connected to practice, to form as such, if we're thinking about it in terms of painting. So I think that's why people like that postmodernists, basically all of them are Duchamp's proteges, and they display similar qualities because they're in the market economy, they're creating objects for sale, perfect objects. One can go into detail, but essentially the world's we live in an old world, and we need a new cultures, we need new ideas, we need new forms in terms of art to take shape. And that's what I do with my art, with my work. But I'm appealing to all of you as well, that we need to modernize, and part of that modernization is becoming a global society, and letting go of old power structures like the state, old cultures like the academic culture of art at the moment, which is completely stagnant and without any vitality, and constantly having to reproduce itself without actually being in touch with the workers, with the people. People don't respond to it, and most of it lacks universality. So coming from the developing world, from the second world, from Africa, from Cape Town, I think that we need to take responsibility for that and putting forward a new plan for humanity. Thank you. Speak soon.